So tell us about yourself, Ted. Thanks for being here.
Thanks. First, Christian, I'd like to thank you and the Bullpen team for not only pulling together this great panel to show kind of the diversity of strategic funding, but also just creating Bullpen in the first place. I've met so many tremendous people, and if those here haven't met others, everyone's friendly. Please reach out. I'm Tad Weems. I'm with Agilent Technologies. For those that don't know, that's about a $6 billion revenue company focused on instruments, reagents for the laboratory. And I lead the venture team at Agilent. Christian asked us to give kind of a background on how we got there. My path into venture capital is pretty typical. I was a happy little chemical engineer in the construction industry, starting up petroleum refineries around the world. I was on the North Slope of Alaska, and they told me my next job was to return to the North Sea, where there'd been a minor explosion. I didn't know what the letters MBA stood for, but I knew I needed one right now. After I got out of Wharton, I went into financial engineering. It was leveraged buyout company. And then from there, I did a startup, sold the startup, did another startup, sold that startup, decided to retire. That was boring. Went back, became CFO and head of a division for a friend's company. Agilent reached out to me and said, do you want to out-license some products? We understand that you have a sense of humor. And I said, sure. So I out-licensed a couple of products for Agilent. Then went back to my CFO division lead role. The CTO of Agilent called me up and said, well, could you come in we have a new program called the Early Stage Partnership Program. We have a mess of people getting together. I was the only one who showed up. So I now lead the venture investing team at Agilent. So that's how I got here. Like Tari, it's pretty straight path to ventures. You asked what we're doing. We're always looking out, trying to look out 5 years for early stage laboratory tools companies, much like Eppendorf does, that will improve the lives of patients, improve the lives of people in the laboratory. Recently, or probably the last 3 or 4 years, we've been looking at the AI ML space, and Gen AI has brought a lot of attention to it. Our kind of twist on it is we're focused on lab automation. Most of that's analysis of data coming off of instruments. There's a lot of strange data that comes off of instruments sometimes, and to be able to interpret some of that data and know when it's good and when it's bad is really of interest to us. Another area is the single cell space has done a really great job of providing incredible insights into individual cells. We think in the future that multi-cells are going to be really, really important. So we're looking for tools in that space right now as well. So if you have a startup or know of a startup in either of those spaces, that's a particular concern to us right now. Let's see, anything else? The ask. When I'm at Bullpen at Bio, which is a couple of weeks away, if you know anything about regulatory, especially around the tool space, going LDTs and on qualifications for GMP, I'd love to chat with you, get a little input on that, and introduce you to some of our companies, because it's just a black hole for most startups. So that's of interest to us. All right, Christian.
Well, Tad, that was awesome, and
cool.
Just a super background. I wish we had had a chance to talk more previously, but I'm going to follow up with you, as I'm sure many people are. And my background, I don't talk about it much in these meetings, but is all in the tools and services space. So I had a startup CDMO, and we had a supply agreement with Agilent, and we also had bioreactors. So let's talk. I would love to get you specifically connected with our members. We have some awesome people who want to meet you.